Today on Reddit gossip, my wife told her friends she settled for me. Have you had a similar experience? Share your best anecdotes and opinions below in the comments. Also subscribe and hit the bell to keep up to date with new stories. Let's get started. We have a perfect marriage. We've been together for 9 years, married for 4. We rarely fight, we're often intimate, we go out on date nights, send memes to each other, the works. Recently, we got news that her ex-boyfriend overdosed and passed away. Now, my wife has no connection to him, so we expressed our condolences to his family over text and nothing more. She often goes out with her friends and I always let her. I have no problem with it because I used to trust her 100%. I had to work late, so I told my wife that if she wants, she can call her friends over to our place since I wouldn't be around. Well, the rains were heavy and our office was told to leave early because some light flooding was taking place on the roads. I reached home and I could tell her friends were there, so I quietly went to our room unnoticed. Everyone was speaking quite loudly though, so I could hear a lot, and the ex-boyfriend came up in conversation. My wife said that 4 years into our relationship, she got a call from her ex-BF, who lived in a trailer, offering to help her see the world. She said she had a bag packed and was ready to leave, but in the end decided not to and settled for the stability I was giving her. I didn't know about any of this, she never told me, and she says that apparently she settled for me. One of her friends asked her if she ever regretted her choice. She said that she used to, but not recently. I guess that's it, right? I'm not unstable enough for her to be attracted to me, she has to settle for someone like me. That one word just keeps revolving in my head. I slipped out of the house and went to a cafe to gather my thoughts, but got a call from her asking me where I was, that I was due home half an hour ago. I went back and she greeted me with a hug and a kiss as always, but I wasn't really into it and she asked me why my mood was off. I mumbled something like stress from work and went to bed, skipping dinner and our usual alone time. Except I couldn't sleep. I woke up a few hours later into the night and sat in the balcony just thinking about how I'm not good enough for her, about how I'm sure she doesn't love me. I know she at least loves me a little, but even for that, I have no guarantee. It's the next day now. I didn't sleep much last night and wife's still asleep. I didn't tell anyone anything about what she said because I just can't. What do I do here, guys? Should I even talk to her? Divorce? Is there any hope for us moving forward? Does she even want to move forward? I don't know. I'm sorry for how jumbled up this is, my head is not really in a right place now. Comments. 1. Heck, it's the part where the OP mentions that she says she used to regret it but hasn't recently. Like, how long ago was she thinking this? A conversation is definitely needed. First, telling her what you heard. I honestly hope she has reasonable explanations for this, but I can understand why this hurts you. This is a lot. I honestly see how you're questioning everything. But don't jump to any extremes like some comments suggest. 2. I would confront her and ask her why. Because she had bags packed and ready to go. Only financials were in the way of her decision. I'd ask her exactly why she decided to be with you knowing you weren't the one she really wanted, and if you really deserve to be stuck with someone that only wanted your money and what they could get from you. Ask her why you shouldn't just divorce her. Make her body sweat and agonize over it the way you have. 3. It sounds like she was selling a drama to her friends. I see people do this all the time. On top of feeling nostalgic since the dude's death. I don't think she doesn't love you and I don't think your marriage is over. People on Reddit get all uppity and tell people to leave their partners, but it's not real life. Talk to your wife and explain that your feelings are hurt. It's gonna take time to build back trust, but actions speak louder than words and she stayed with you for more than one reason. Have you had a similar experience? Share your best anecdotes and opinions below in the comments. Also subscribe and hit the bell to keep up to date with new stories. Let's get started. Update. Happy update. I made a post the other day about my wife saying something jarring. Some people asked for an update, here it is. Well, immediately after the revelation, first I drove to a nearby town and took 2 days just for me and my thoughts. I called in sick from work and told my wife that I was visiting a cousin. I then read all the comments you guys had for me. I really wanted to reply to some, but the thread was locked, but I nevertheless read each one and it was a lot of mixed advice. Everyone was advising me to talk to her, but everyone had different views on what to say to her. Some said to just ask for a divorce, some said ask her what she meant, some defended her and told me I misunderstood everything. I decided to go for the middle option. Yesterday, I finally confronted her about it. I walked in and she came up to me for our hug, but I didn't really give one back. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her we had to talk. I sat her down. She could tell I was sad and worried, and I asked her if she was happy with me. She said that of course she was. I asked her if she loved me, and if she had done so through the entire course of our relationship. She looked confused and said of course she did, and asked me where this was coming from. I told her that I heard her with her friends a few days ago. I heard how she was willing to leave me after 4 years to be with her ex and how she claimed to have settled for me. She teared up and said she didn't mean it like that, to which I asked how she meant it. She said that by settle for she didn't mean that she thought she could do better and was dating down, but that she made up her mind to stay with me because I was the better person. I told her that 4 years into our relationship, there shouldn't have been a question in the first place and brought up the fact that she said she had a bag packed. She started crying and said that that was an exaggeration on her part, that she only considered it and that was in a moment of weakness when we were having a fight and were briefly on break. Her ex called her because he heard about our fight through a friend and they spoke on the phone for about an hour in which he flirted with her, put me down and offered to show her the world. She said she had a choice between going with her ex or reconciling with me and she chose me because she loved me and always will. She said that 4 years ago, she was a weaker person, that I made her stronger and better. I then brought up the fact that she said she regretted it but hadn't done so recently. I asked her what she meant by recently. She said that she regretted her choice for only a month after the offer was made because she had thoughts about what could have been, but stopped when she realized that she had the best moments of her life with me. I asked her if anything happened between her and anyone else through the course of our relationship, to which she said that she never cheated on me and never will, and I believe her. We were both crying at this stage and we just hugged and sat together. She apologized for what she said and what she was like 5 years ago. I apologized for listening in on a private conversation without telling her and for doubting that she loved me. I'm really happy that it was nothing but a misunderstanding and I'm glad we were able to come out stronger. Some people mentioned that I should get a DNA test for the kids, but we don't have any kids so that's not a problem. Also, she mentioned possibly having survivor's guilt, so we're going to look into that too. Thank you everyone who commented and DM'd me, your advice was really appreciated. Comments. 1. It is great that you talked it out with your wife. The relationship would not be able to survive if you swept it all under the rug. Hopefully the talk cleared up most of the issues that gives you the feeling of insecurities in your marriage. Hope this will be just a speed bump in your relationship and things get back to how it was. 2. I still kinda feel uneasy about how it got resolved, feels unreal imo, but then again I don't know what she's like, so hey, if you're okay with it and all. Good luck and best wishes to you both of you. 3. While I genuinely hope things can return to normal for you guys, there's one thing that is nagging at me. Nothing in her conversation with her friends made it sound like you were the love of her life, or that you were her everything. Instead, it sounds more like she weighed 2 job offers, examined the pros and cons and then chose you. While it's not exactly the same as settling, it's not much of an improvement either. 4. It's good to hear you patched it up, but I'm skeptical. First, everyone knows what settled for means. If what she meant was to settle down with you, then why didn't she say settle down? Pretty huge different. Second, you're right, 4 years into a relationship and she shouldn't be questioning it unless she's done. Why exaggerate to her friend that way? What does she gain from that? You guys went on break, which is always a ridiculous idea, and her ex immediately swooped in and she considered going with him. That shouldn't be an issue at all. Really sounds like she's trying to cover her tracks, dude. I really want you to be right, but I feel like you aren't. Good luck to you regardless, man. Have you had a similar experience? Share your best anecdotes and opinions below in the comments. Also subscribe and hit the bell to keep up to date with new stories. Let's get started.